Okay, we have a couple people coming still yet, but they're going to come in while we're talking, because for those people who arrived on time or close to on time, I want to make sure to honor them and get going. So if someone comes in, they can sit right down. No big deal. Claudette, you were the first person here, right? I appreciate that. And for that, early bird catches a worm. Here's a cup of coffee on me. And you're gonna have to catch these things. We're gonna throw them out. All right. So thank you for getting here and enjoy a cup of coffee. So, okay, so for those that are here, many of you have been here for the CE class that we recently did. This was the follow-up to the CE. And the CE does not allow us to teach you how to level up, how to become a better agent, how to use tools to grow your business. It's just not, it's actually prohibited when you're teaching CE. So every time we teach CE, we want to double down and offer more supportive tools. Guys, as you know, at the Homebuyer Learning Center, we are a mortgage bank that pride ourselves on educating our consumer. We want to educate the buyer. We want to educate the seller. We want to educate the realtor. We want to make sure that they understand how to be better in their business. And we want to help our customers to make better informed decisions. We feel like if we can educate them, then it's a lot easier to work with people. And also, if you're referring someone to us to help them, get a loan or a mortgage loan, knowing that they're going to be educated through the process and not sold, that's really sort of the cornerstone of what we do here, is making sure that we're educating our customers into home ownership, and also educating our realtors through becoming a realtor, becoming an experienced agent, and using some really nifty tools that can help you to do that. So today, guys, is the AI agent seminar, and we're going to get basically right into it. Before I talk about that, I wanted to pull out a prop. This is my prop. Cup of coffee to the first person who can tell me what this is. She's on fire. I can't believe it. No one even took that. No one even took that shot. It's a hammer. This is a hammer. This is a hammer. I know. I thought it was a trick question. I'm not trying to trick you here. I'm just trying to tell a story. Any idea what a hammer could do? Hit stuff, break things. What else could it do? Build stuff. Hammer, nail. Hammer, nail. Probably pry a thing. If I told you that I was an expert at using a hammer, would you find that believable?
Yeah. Why not?
Why not? It's a fucking hammer. It's like, how hard could it be? Right? If I gave you the hammer and you held it for an hour, you might be able to also say that you're an expert at using a hammer, right? Okay. Now I'm going to cross a long bridge here. If I told you all, knowing me for what I am, I'm holding a hammer, we all can agree I probably could claim to be an expert at using a hammer, and probably within reason, that's a legitimate claim. If I said to you all that I am an expert contractor, would you believe me? Not necessarily. Why? I have no proof, right? Like, you don't need much proof for this. The qualifier to be an expert using a hammer is not the same as the qualifier to say that I'm an expert contractor. Okay. Come down this road with me, okay? Take this trip with me. If you could paint the picture of a contractor, an image, an optics for what a contractor looks like, what would a contractor look like? What would a contractor be wearing and look like?
Have a van.
Tool belt? What's that?
Maybe a van with a name on it.
Maybe a van with a name on it. Combat boots, blue jeans, probably like a rough brown jacket of some type, probably a hammer, right? There wouldn't be like clown nose hanging on the tool belt. It'd be right. What else is on a tool belt? Probably tape measure. So how is it that an expert in their field, and arguably I couldn't just claim to be an expert contractor, how is it that an expert contractor has a hammer on their tool belt and not something else that would show that they're an expert? Why do they have a hammer?
This is one of the tools that he needs on a daily basis.
It's a daily basis tool. Like, though becoming an expert to use a hammer is not very difficult, can we make the deduction, and legitimately, can we actually make a claim that every contractor is an expert with a hammer?
No.
I might say yes. If you're an expert contractor and it hangs on your waist, I'd imagine you're going to be pretty good at it. I imagine you'd be pretty good at it. I would say that you could be an expert with a hammer in an hour. If you're an expert contractor after 20 years, you're probably pretty good with a hammer. Probably. You could at least make the deduction. But why does a contractor after 20 years, when they become an expert, why do they have a hammer? Well, because
He wants to show what he does.
it is an essential tool. Like, it's an essential. No matter the tool you choose, there would be no tool better to hammer in a nail than a hammer. You could use the back of your fist. You could use the back of this thing. You could use the back of a pair of pliers. You could use quite a lot, but none would probably do the job of a hammer. So it's an easy tool. Now, has this gone unchanged in a very long time? Not really. A hammer is a hammer is a hammer. It has not been changed because it works effectively. Now, if I dressed up here in expert contractor gear and had a hammer on my waist, and I said, I'm an expert contractor, you might believe me. Because I'm wearing, hello, hi Loli, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for coming. We were expecting you. So, when it comes to this hammer, we're talking about being an expert and using a hammer.
Gotcha.
Right? So, what's unique about this hammer is that it's something you become an expert with day one, but it's something after 20 years to be an expert you still have to use. Optically, they go together. Expert contractor, standard operation tool, right? You need your number one tool, at least optically, to appear to be the expert. Okay. So what today is going to give you the 5 hammers that you need if you're going to use AI to be a successful realtor. These are your must-have tool belt equipment. This is the day one stuff that you need to have. If you want to look like an expert or feel like an expert, these things have to be in your toolbox. Must. Absolute must. Many of you are probably using them now. Is anybody using like ChatGPT? Right. Good show of hands. That's going to be like where people start. That's where we should start. So we're going to go into which tools, right? Gemini's a couple of really good ones, right? Yeah. I got this. I got X-ray vision. I knew your name was Loli. I saw that from. So we're going to go through the basic tools. Now, what I don't want to impress on you guys is that I'm an expert in using AI. That is not. You're going to have a hard time finding that. You're going to have a hard time finding that's an expert in AI. Why? Why is it kind of hard to find an expert in AI? What do we usually attach to expertise? Certification, experience, time using something, right? So is anybody using AI for 20 years? No. Is anybody using it for 10? Right. So there really isn't an expert in AI. We can only try to find the best tools that apply for our use. And so we can have expert effort. We can be unafraid, because if I was to learn how to use this hammer, it might look a little silly for about 5 minutes. And then about 10 minutes in, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling confident. You know why? Because ChatGPT and AI makes you feel really good about yourself. It's like they love to add little fluff and little compliments. Say, oh, you're doing a great job here. It's going to be such a great thing you're doing. So we're going to go over the 5 must-have tools in your AI tool belt as a realtor. So this is about working harder and not smarter. What are some immediate things we know that AI can do? right? We understand that AI is going to follow up faster. It's going to market smarter. It's going to help you close more deals. And we can get into why it's going to help you close more deals. But I think that's like the obvious part. We don't need to know why it's going to help you close more deals. Obviously, if you can multiply yourself and you can get a number of virtual assistants doing AI things, closing much faster is almost like the obvious, right? So now it's just like, let's just get to the tools. We want to know what tools are essential for us to be successful using AI as real estate agents. So have any of you, show of hands, you guys have used some ChatGPT, right? Have any of you used image sort of AI technologies? What is it called? Nano Banana. What does Nano Banana do?
Create images.
Cool, cool. So we know that here is just some basic like day oneers, like what can AI, if you asked AI, what can it do for me in the world of real estate? Very, very simple. These are the most simplistic things that it could do. It can stage a house relatively easy for you, right? You take a picture with your, iPhone of an empty room. You want to show it with some furniture. You upload that really quickly into a couple of technologies, and I'm going to share what those are. And it'll stage your house. It'll make it look really, really great. You can tell AI to remove stains off walls and clean the floors. You could tell it to change the color of the paint. You could tell it to add a window. You could tell it to do quite a lot, but you want to be careful, right? Because you do want to represent that the house is the house that you're actually selling, right? So you don't want to make it look like it's something that isn't, right? It creates eye-catching social media content. Has anyone fallen into that trap thinking you're watching like a human being and it's like some AI thing? You're like, oh my God, right? It's like you can't beat them. You got to kind of join them. We want to close the gap, making it like real people, but also AI is like incredibly important to still, to be able to produce as much as you need to produce to keep up with your competition. AI responds in seconds. We're going to talk about technology that helps you respond in seconds to your inquiries, whether it's your open house visits or your listing opportunities or anybody that you're trying to engage or make a sale. We're going to talk about a couple technologies that help AI to respond really, really quick. And top agents are claiming that there's about a third greater percentage to appointment when using AI technologies and softwares for follow-up. So about 30% increase in the yes, let's make an appointment action. The actionable item is about a 30% increase. And now I got these statistics. I kind of cross-referenced them through Redfin. I cross-referenced them through NAR. And then I asked Chat to give me some statistics. And all across the board, it shows about 30% greater conversion. I hate that stat because it's like hard to really tell, like how would you know one's going to fall out versus, but you know what, we do know that we cannot follow up as well as machine or virtual assistants or something like that. So let's get into the technologies that actually can do these things. And these are just the surface level. So guys, here's the top tools that are going to save time. Now, I also went through a tremendous amount of data and sort of like battled with AI to come up with actual time-saving technologies. And I wanted to see how much time it really actually saves. Because on the right-hand column, we see that these tools, I'm going to go through them line by line, but if we just quickly add the time here on the left, right? Manual time, 30 minutes, 2 hours, 60 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour, 2 hours. And so let's talk about what these technologies are doing. This is like your day, right? This is your day. There's about 7 hours spent there. And let's give you the names of these technologies, and then we're going to talk about what they do. I'm going to make it really easy for you. You could write them down, but you're going to scan, you're just going to take a picture of that screen, and that takes you to the register page for every one of these technologies. So you don't have to worry about writing it down. I got you. We'll get back to there. Let's sit on this slide for 1 second. So guys, ChatGPT, if you're not using it, you really need to use it. It solves like every little problem in your day-to-day life. I tend to use my chat only for business purposes. Something that I found is very unique about chat, or that I found, is that it takes everything you ask it for. You can open up a dialogue with this chat character, and you can say, hey, how to make a ham sandwich, right? Now it'll make you a ham sandwich. Now the following day you say, hey, I'm a surgeon and I want to know how to, connect these nerve endings in the brain. It thinks you're like a sandwich making surgeon. It starts to like take all that you ask it and say like, oh, we know that you love making sandwiches and you're a brain surgeon. Did you ever try to make a ham sandwich on a brain? So it's not like, so I like to keep the AI focused. reminding it that it's my professional assistant in the world of development, business growth, mortgages, real estate, that sort of thing. So what I would recommend, just as a user experience, one person using it, not to say everybody has this experience, but I found that if you start your ChatGPT relationship, because it really is a relationship, and a couple of guys will tell you, I know Jimmy argues with his ChatGPT, one of my guys is constantly yelling at it and arguing with it, so it does feel like it's a relationship. But if you should start your ChatGPT relationship, if you haven't started one now, make it a certain type of a character or an expert. Gemini, everyone has Google Gemini? Right, so Omar over there, that fine gentleman right there with the camera, he loves using Gemini. He prefers Gemini. Gemini is really cool because in Gemini, it's similar to ChatGPT in that you can give it prompts and tell it to do easy things. And some of the easy stuff, the low-hanging fruit, the obvious stuff, but for those that don't know if it's obvious, this can write listing. It can really put really beautiful texts together. It could put beautiful scripts together if you want to present that to somebody. It could really help you with your face-to-face dialogue and even rebuttals. If you're dealing with a rebuttal that you can't answer, hey, I want to go show the house. This person tells me to come over, and every week they blow me off because they say they have something to do with the kids. It will give you a well-thought-out response to someone who has kids that blows off meetings a lot. With Gemini, which is similar to ChatGPT, it's sort of a open source brain, helps you to be better overall. But what Gemini does is it allows you to categorize gems so you can make individual experts of certain topics. So to that ham sandwich analogy, I can make a gem where it just gives me advice on recipes. And it'll learn what types of food. Oh, you always ask for breakfast food. Why don't you try this? Then I would create another gem about my brain surgeon question because it keeps me in that lane. But both ChatGPT and Gemini, if you're not using them, you must immediately run to use them because it thinks for you. It doesn't complete the thought. It doesn't make a total, it doesn't give you the whole answer. What's nice about it is it doesn't include real world experience. It's not a 20-year vet. You are. But we're going to talk about what it replaces and how it elevates you because it's, AI can be a little scary that if it does all this stuff, then what am I doing kind of thought. Like, well, then what am I supposed to do in the process? So we'll talk about that in a second. So AI and CRMs and Follow-Up Boss. So there's a number of different, anyone hear about Follow-Up Boss? Keller Williams uses it quite often. So Follow-Up Boss is a CRM that I think has been widely respected in the real estate world. And it's now integrating a number of different AI tools for staying in communication with your customer. So you have a 100-person sign-in sheet and you can make 100 phone calls. You drag it and drop it into your sign-in sheet protocol and it will do the email, text, phone call, email, text, phone call. Follow-Up Boss is a fantastic tool. I want you to know that the tools I'm showing you today are all free. Every one of these tools are free to use. So when you sign up with them, there might be some paid level you can get to, but all of these you can use a free version of. There is a free version of each of these. So Structurally and Ylopo they scrub your buyers and your sellers for more ready buyers or sellers. There is data that prove when someone, whether it's an equity percentage, whether it's a time in the home, whether it's the age of the homeowner, their activity on Zillow and their activity on your website, it will tell you based on their activity and their likelihood who you should focus on. So Structurally and Ylopo are awesome, incredible technologies for telling you which leads to focus on. Because does anybody have leads here? Anybody have leads? Like you guys like a couple hundred or 1,000 or something like that, right? You need to, right? So how do you know which to call? Which of these to call? Once you load them into any, and there's a number of CRMs, and I'm going to email this to everybody here today. Everyone who got that invite is going to get blasted this presentation. But there is a number of companies like Ylopo that you can integrate into Follow Up Boss, or any other CRM, because this is what's happening. And we're also actually talking about this with Mario just a moment ago, is that AI is that universal brain. And these large companies realize, let's just take AI and put it into every single company. So you're finding you don't need, and this is what's the scary part. It's like, I don't know how to use AI because I have to do all these things. Just try to use it once and you'll find that just developing a relationship with any version of AI, you're going to do almost all of it, because where it's implanted into certain softwares, it doesn't matter if it's Chat, Gemini, Ylopo, Structurally, all these, they all can do just about the same thing with the right direction. So we're going to get into that. Anybody using Canva? Okay. Has anybody created art in Canva? Created it, like made the art? Takes a, right? You do templates. Why do you do templates?
Yeah, because it's shortcut.
It saves time because it's faster. I would agree. Why do you want to use AI? Because it's faster, it's shorter. Like, that's the whole point. You want to free up hours. And this isn't like some fake time. You can literally drop your ML 6 photos into Canva, and in 5 seconds or 3 minutes, it'll generate you some beautiful art. Would you agree that if you had to create that art manually, it would have taken you an hour? Easily, right? Easily. And the reason that we're not graphic artists is because it would just take too long. So you have to be willing to use, now Canva is incredible. Why is Canva incredible? Because it also has the social media requirements already embedded in it. So it knows if you're gonna, make something for a reel, make something for a story, make something for Facebook, IG, TikTok, Twitter, or whatever. So you just tell it what you're making it for, it spit you a template, but then you can also, because every one of these softwares now, it's just an easy little widget, they're all adding the AI element. It's like drag and drop, it's so easy. Today is going to be more encouraging and inspiring you to just go ahead and do what you know you should already be doing. But that's going to be sort of like the separator between you and everyone else. I'm going to get to that in a minute. That'll make sense in a second. So now Midjourney is really cool. Does anyone know what Midjourney is? Anybody try that? Midjourney is Midjourney is awesome. It's a video creator, but it does hyper photorealistic work. So it's almost like one of these things where you see all these really beautiful videos. You're like, how the hell are they doing that? You just like drag and drop in a dragon and it makes a dragon fly over this city. It's like free. It's still free technology. Now, how much of it you can use, that's a different story, but you can certainly dive into Midjourney, tell it to prompt it to create live video, drag and drop you and a house and say, I want to do, the jig in front of this house. It's going to be able to create that for you. Right? So Midjourney is a great technology that you guys should really, really dive into for creating video. And something we use here, almost all the time, Omar, about all the time, right? Would you say? We use OpusClip pretty aggressively. OpusClip is pretty cool. OpusClip is going to help us with this video today. Anybody know what OpusClip is? It's going to be one of your favorite ones. Mario, I know he knows what OpusClip is. It's an automatic editor. But because the language component of AI has become so sophisticated, it actually knows when you're talking about a certain point, and it knows when the punchline's being delivered. So you drag and drop this. Let's say this is going to be a 45-minute video. It would take Omar probably 4 hours, and maybe more if he had the time. He could spend probably 8 hours finding the little 20-second nugget that would sound really good on social media or in a story. And who wants to spend 4 hours for a 20-second clip on Instagram? Like, that's the problem. The squeeze isn't worth the juice. We find like, oh, I would love to say that, but you know what? Now I got to edit this 4 hours of video or this 45 minutes. I got to find that talking point, and then I have to put together the actual edit. What OpusClip does is it asks you, on what platform are you putting it on? It allows you to add really cool poppy subtitles. You want one word coming at a time? That works. It'll pop in your subtitles. It'll actually get the hook of what you're saying. It'll bring up the sort of the key punchy part. It'll cut in on your head. It'll back away. It'll create in a drag and a drop feel. In just a few minutes, you can do hours of editing in seconds. It's unbelievable. That is free. As a matter of fact, I got to tell you, I don't know that Synthesia is free. Opus, I think is free, but like extremely limited. So for example, when we used Opus for the first time, we were able to make, I think, like 6 videos a month. But what happens is when you drag and drop a 3-minute video, it'll give you 6 in 1 second. So you're going to use your free version like in an instant. But they do that on purpose because they show you how well it puts together 6 quick posts for you. You're like, oh shit, I need to do this. The paid version, Omar, what do you think? What is that? The Opus paid version? How much is that? Yeah, I want to say. So Opus works on a credits, sort of like a. They work on like a video game at like Dave and Buster's. You buy like 3,500 credits, and the longer your video, the more credits it takes away from your balance to cut it up. So for, I think it was, we got 3,500 credits for like $300 for the year, something like that. And some videos can take 2 credits up to like 5 credits to edit. So it's something like that. It's a bargain. You can certainly use it for free, but you're gonna find you upload any raw video from your phone, you tell it to make some cool posts out of it, you're gonna shoot that free shot in a second and you're gonna want more. OpusClip is incredible. So this is the picture that you guys should definitely take on your phone, because then when you're home on your couch, it takes 2 seconds. This is all of the register for the free account link to each of those technologies. Which one? Opus. Well, and 3,600 credits. There you go. Yeah. So we did that. So and I'll tell you guys, if you've seen anything, and I would encourage you, please, I'm not out here trying to get followers. That's the last thing I care about. I really want to add quality content to your life regarding your business. But follow us. Follow us because we're using AI. And so you can see some of the stuff that we're doing. You can see what might look like incredible production and take really long. It's just, a couple of part-time marketers using AI full-time, just using it like crazy. Okay, the thing is being unafraid to use it, right? So is there anybody in the room who thinks like this is gonna like replace us, or can have a negative effect? There's some people that might think like this is right. So it's really just using the tools of today. What's gonna happen is not that it will replace you. What will replace you is the realtors using AI. That's gonna replace you. So yeah, you don't have to join the fray. AI will not replace you, just a better agent will. That's really all it is. But if you're unafraid, because you can't break these things. Like I'll tell you, you could try to break it. You can't. It just, I've even seen people try to like, catch up their ChatGPT later up. People try to like choke them up and get them to say the wrong thing, and you really kind of can't. So you could, try to break it. Try to see if there's flaws in the system, but do not allow it to get in the hands of your competitor without at least doing it. Because that's the key is your competitors are going to use this technology to really stand out. And out of thousands of realtors, if a couple hundred are using AI, that's all that they need. I mean, look at our social media now. It's absolutely inundated with tons of AI technology. So these are must-haves in your AI tool belt. And so this is just the end of the slideshow, but I have a few things I want to say, because the most important thing is getting those technologies and understanding sort of what they do. But what I want you to understand, and I was just telling this to Omar, and this is something that, I've been talking to, I have a 25-year-old son, and I know, I'm so old. And one thing that he's having a real tough time with is that he is now endeavoring his career. He's going out to try to compete with other people in the computer science world. And he's like, there's about 1 million people out there, and I can't, get a job. No one's going to accept me. No one's going to, right? And the reality is, when we talk about getting buyers and sellers, and we actually are working and trying to serve customers, we realize it's a numbers game. We talk about this all the time. This is a volume business. It takes 1,000 no's just to get that 100 maybes, and maybe there's 10 yeses in there. So there's something that I was thinking, and I wanted to reframe my son's mind. It's not about chasing the 5 yeses out of the 100 no's. I would actually encourage you to get the 100 no's. Don't try for the yes that we know is more difficult to get, but actually attempt to fail. Because then what you would find is that through making numerous calls, touches, by using these technologies, you're going to find that with 100 failures comes 5 success stories, whether it's someone who books an appointment or someone who actually follows you or then engages with your social media and then becomes a user. The reality is you need more no's than yeses. So I think we shouldn't be chasing for the yeses. Let's chase the no. Chase the negative, the person that doesn't want to do business with you. And that's just one person closer to the next. I mean, all of us in this business, Nick will tell you, guys, you know Nick, show a hand over there. That's Nick. So he's the loan officer. He'll tell you he has probably 100 applications from customers that are pre-approved and shopping and closing 2 or 3 units a month. That's not 97 people that are saying no. It's 97 people that he's massaging. Are they any less important or less valuable than the three or four people that he's closing every month? No, they're not. His next closing, his next opportunity is in those people. So it's just a matter of treating those no's and those yes ifs with the same care that you treat the people that are yes right away. Okay, so these tools, I'm going to go back to them because they're really, really important. These are your must-haves. These are your hammers. You need these. If you do not have these, you are like an expert contractor who says, I don't need a hammer, which would sound pretty stupid because these are the musts. If you don't believe me, this is what your competition is using. So you must get used to and familiar using. You cannot break it. What I'd like to encourage is for the time it saves you, if you go to use this stuff today, it's not going to be 10 seconds to figure out follow-up boss. That's not what this is claiming. This is not saying that it takes 10 seconds for you to learn how to use follow-up boss. Absolutely not. Sure, it might take you an hour to sit down and understand follow-up boss. Once it's deploying a follow-up and doing the work, it is replacing 2 hours of follow-up with 10 seconds of a button click. Boom, send that text message to 400 people, right? So it'll do the work, but you have to set up the accounts. Knowing that it's going to save you close to 6 hours a day, dive into these technologies for a day. Give them a day of your time. Give them a President's Day when when people are home, the kids are home, and you're on your couch. Give it an easy day. If you give one of these technologies an hour a day for the next week, you'll be better for it next week immediately. You will have courage in using it the minute you start using it. You don't know how to use it, just ask it. It literally will give you the answers. But I'd like to encourage you to take action because that's really what we do. When we think about AI is replacing what we do, think about this. If you're not making the phone call to your customer because AI is doing a good job, and you're not making a text message, or you're not even making the appointment, you're just showing up, then what is your job now? Because the reality is AI can find a house for your customer just as easy as you can. It really can. I want to find a 3-bedroom in Mineola and blah, blah. It's going to show them every listing before your, MLS LIBOR email even got to them. They're going to find it on their own. So then what do you do? What's your role then in this new age of being a realtor? What is the role?
Coach them.
Coach them.
Coach them how to buy it, because they can find it, but you then
I love that you say coach them because it's such a great word. I wasn't even going to use coach, but that is a great word.
coach them.
Your job as an agent is to encourage and inspire. You know what AI can't do? AI cannot tell a consumer about the pride of home ownership. An AI bot cannot open a door and envision children growing in the house with them. The better realtors are going to use AI to follow up, market, create videos, create content, make themselves known in the world, but then take the white in the eyes connection and the human element to the next level, because now that's the only thing you need to focus on. So if the human touch was something that you actually can refine and make better, you will become the top agent. And if you don't do it, you will watch the top agents do it. They will do it, and you're gonna say, "What's going on with them? Why does it look so easy for them to be successful?" I don't know. I'm dedicated. I'm devoted. I'm working really hard, because what I'm doing is I'm putting. How can this person with all this technology? I'm putting in 30 minutes over here. I'm putting in 2 hours making calls. I'm like, I'm 60 minutes a day I'm spending on my text messages, and you're spending 7 or 8 hours. And meanwhile, this guy made a ham sandwich and he's sitting at his desk by 11 a.m. done with everything you just spent the whole day doing. And then he's booking appointments and holding the kids by the hand and making the human part really special. So AI should take all that mundane work, the VA type work, the appointment type work, the phone calls, the follow-ups, the emails, the material, the marketing, the videos. Get that off your lap. You do not need to become Martin Scorsese. You don't need to be Quentin Tarantino. It's not your job to become a professional filmmaker. That's just too hard. It's just impossible. What you need to do is just be a human being in a very robot world. And people appreciate that. That's why you're here. You could have done this seminar probably, digitally. You probably could have got a bunch of YouTube, but you came because connecting the white and the eye is actually going to a place where people are doing some matters. It changes the flow. So what I'd like to encourage you to do is you must start your accounts today. And in less than 2 hours, you would call me and say, "Oh my God, these things are incredible."
So you said they're all free and they want to try all of them.
Yep.
Want to get the service.
Mhm.
You just subscribe to the actual service.
They all have unique models. So the majority of this, Cynthia is actually one of the, this one here, Cynthia, I don't know how to say it, Synthesia, is similar to Opus, where it's more free, but Opus is like the premier. Opus is actually working really, really great. So we're using Opus quite a lot. So I recommend it over anything else that I haven't really used. And when I try to use it, it was a little cumbersome. But not all of these require money. Matter of fact, none of them require money. You're going to get a free trial. Let it sell you. Try it. If you see the value in dropping in a 6-minute clip of you touring a house, and then it turns it into one of these like speed tours with great music and cuts, it might be worth the $300 for the year. If it was guaranteed to save you 10 hours a week, you'd spend $300 on it, right? And if you don't have the $300 now, that's okay. You could do plenty with ChatGPT. That'll keep you plenty busy. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it would have been crazy, to be perfectly honest. 100% of this seminar was made with AI. There wasn't like a human person at all involved in making this. It's probably obvious because all AI looks about the same when it comes to the art and stuff. But I needed to put something together which showed free technology. I want to make sure that you're using it. I want to make sure the top agents were using it so that you guys are catching up to speed. So you're not left in the dust. And there's still time.
What did you use to create this?
This was all through chat.
That was all.
100% was chat. Yeah, 100% was chat. I could show you my prompting, and I will tell you, it didn't take the man hours away. In order for this to go the way I wanted and to look how I wanted it to do, to look and present the way I wanted to present, and to be short and to have some key components, I probably spent about 12 hours building this out. I was also expecting 50 people. I'm happy to put 12 hours into you 6 folks, but I wanted to make sure it would go well. So I learned quite a bit about AI. We use it in our daily ongoing. So I really encourage you to follow us.
They will have tutorials.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous. It's all so easy. It's like a made AI for like a 6-year-old. It almost talks to you like really stupid, which I love because it makes me sound really smart. I'm like, oh my God, you make me sound so great. Yeah, please.
You can use that particular AI to be your tutorial. It'll walk you through itself. Remember when like 3D printing first came about and people were using 3D printers to build parts to make 3D printers more stable? Kind of what you're doing with AI now. So I have AI tell me how to use it.
Yeah, I'm like, when I don't know how to use it, I ask it. It's so crazy. Like, I'll give you an example. It asked me for when I asked it to lay out QR codes. It said, "Oh, well, we have a problem." So it actually sent me the screen of this screen, and the QR codes. I went to test it, and none of them worked. And I said, "Oh, the QR code screen you sent me doesn't work." He goes, "Ah, I'm so glad you were paying." It like said this. It said this to me like as if like it was a talking person. He goes, "Ah, I'm so glad you caught that. Wanted to make sure you were watching." What? Like, it's a fucking computer, right? So it tells me it wants to make sure that I'm watching. And then it says, well, the reason we couldn't do that is because you're overlaying technology onto one image. So what I can do is I can make a separate page where I include each company's individual QR code, but then you're going to have to manually put it onto your slideshow. Do you know how to do that? And I wrote, hell no. I have no idea how to do that. It's like, no problem. Let me draw you a diagram. And it went through telling me exactly how to screen grab, drag this up, overlay it on top of PowerPoint. And I was using PowerPoint like I was like flying. I felt like I really knew what I was doing. Does this look like I knew what I was doing? I hope so. Yeah. Right? So the idea is make me look like a pro. But this is no different to you making a presentation for a listing, to make a presentation to buyers that are looking at a dozen properties for the last year and you can't figure out, what's going to make them jump over the edge. Making this quality material, it doesn't have to be a 12-hour commitment, but to make a slideshow that you want to send to every single buyer prospect, every seller prospect ever going forward. You spend 12 hours once, you don't have to spend it anymore, right? So using these things to create new systems in your business. First thing you should check, is maybe your ChatGPT to-do list. Like, what can you have your AI bot do? Also, have you guys ever seen, I'll give you a quick 2-second demo. It's not even a demo as much, but I kind of like, does anyone talk to their ChatGPT? Okay. So when you, so yeah, writing is cool. Like, okay, writing is cool. So I was in my, let's say this is the slideshow for realtors. And so it, helped me create all this stuff. Hey, chat, do me a favor. Can you give me the talking points again about the technologies that I want to highlight?
Or anything else before your presentation, just let me know. I'm happy now.
Yeah, yeah, can you give me the most powerful talking points about ChatGPT? Thinking.
Of course, here are the key talking points for ChatGPT. First, ChatGPT helps you write listing descriptions in seconds, what might take about 30 minutes.
So now, if you're driving in the car and you're on your way to your appointment and you want to know how to make... Okay, you can stop. All right. So the thing is, like, I love talking to it because, like, how many of us spend a lot of time in the car? A lot of time in the car, right? So, like, I can't listen to the same Pandora station anymore. I know every song and every station. I can't do it anymore. So I started reading all sorts of different books. And now I just have conversations with chat about how to take over the world. And you're literally engaging with this thing and it's giving you thoughtful ideas. It knows you're a pro. Claudette, it's going to know that you want to be an investor and no more a realtor. You know what? I like doing real estate, but I really want to get into investing. Can you help me daily to do that? And it'll remind you like, hey, every day we're trying to make you an investor, remember? So here's some better investment tools than real estate tools. And it knows you. So you just talk to it like a person. It sounds really weird, but you got to adopt it. Do not be afraid of it because your competitors are adopting it right now and they will outcompete you. They will outrace you. They'll outrun you. They will outclose you. This is easy. Dumb, easy. This is making 16-year-olds millionaires. That is not going to happen on my watch. I'm not letting my kids make more money than me. Not going to happen. If it's because they're on this thing, I'm jumping on this. I'm not going to let that happen. They're not going to tell me how to make money. You know what I mean? So, guys, this is about just encouraging and inspiring, which is what you're going to find is what you're left to do if you if you deploy all this, don't worry about that screen. It's all done anyway, right? We had to see. Okay. If you deploy these strategies well, the only thing you're left to do is encourage, inspire, hold baby hands, show them their bedrooms, do the fun part of your job, which is the human part. So let the robots do the robot stuff. We couldn't afford virtual assistants. We couldn't afford in-person assistants. We can't afford full-time help. You have it. You have it for relatively free. I'm talking about really, really close to free. And if you want really fully free, then use ChatGPT for a while. It can do a lot of the heavy lifting because, like I said about the AI, every software is using AI. It all kind of feels like the same because they're all so powerful because it's the robot can do it all. So I love using Chat. Omar loves using Gemini. My brother uses Gemini quite a lot. I find Chat knows who I am. I know how to communicate with it. And so I found a lane. So he and I are good. She and I, or whatever the hell it is. Right? So don't be afraid. Please get in there. And that's it. I wanted to hopefully to encourage you to use these technologies and then use them to encourage and inspire your prospects. That's it. That's today. Thank you.